Certainly the capability of the BigFix app to leverage BigFix inventory to get not only patch information, installed software, which is actually very nice. This is a machine I created recently, and this is, for example, we see here that I installed the BigFix agent in there. We can see the processes that have been running, and we see the BigFix client in there. But very importantly, the files that have changed in the last 30 days in case of my setup. That having this SHA-256 information, so I can actually copy paste, put this in VirusTotal or any other threat intelligence source and figure out whether this is malicious or not, or whether this corresponds to the real, application or not, is something very useful. But some people, when configure this app, they get this instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the steps that you need to do once you have BigFix inventory on BigFix, what you need to do to actually get this to show you the file hashes. So I'm here on the Windows server that hosts the BigFix console, and I have the 3 machines that I have here. The BigFix server is this one, and these are my 2 Windows machines. This is fully patched, and this is, has very few patches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here into Fixlet, and there might be a better, faster way of doing this. I'm not an expert on BigFix at all. And I'm going to look for a Fixlet called configure, this one in here, file checksum. And notice that it says MD5 SHA-256. One key thing here, that's probably the most important part of this video, is to go here and scroll down. You may not see this screen. Unless you check these 2 boxes, you're not going to get the SHA of MD5, and that's probably why some people get that screen with that message in there. Once you have selected that, you click take action, and then you specify which computers you want these to take place. So actually I'm going to select anyone in here. I can select them all. Yeah. So I'm going to wait until that process finishes. It's 50% complete. Let's wait until it finishes. So now BigFix inventory has the hashes of all the files in those 2 computers, and needless to say, you don't do these things manually in BigFix. You have all these things scheduled and they run automatically. I'm just showing how to do it manually so you know what the steps are and you can automate them later. The next step is to initiate the scan. So the way I actually did it, I went here in 2 sites, external sites, BigFix inventory, version 9, fixes and task. So here in the search, I type initiate, and this is the process that we actually want to run. As before, we click here on take action, select applicable computers, select these 2, click OK, and we let that run and we monitor it until it finishes successfully. Now that this is done, what we need to do is to go to the BigFix inventory, and for that you just go HTTPS on the BigFix IP address or host name and put 9081. Just put 9081, that will take you here. Now you go onto management, data import, and you're going to do import now. If you reload the page, you'll see the progress in here, and obviously here is where you schedule these things to be run automatically. Reload again, almost done there. Again, you reload until the process finishes, and you're done. Now let's go to the QRadar console. What I'm going to do, in my case, you don't have to do it this way, of course, is actually I'm going to uninstall the BigFix app to make sure there are no cache issues, and I want to show you some things that I did when configuring it. So I'm going to install it, and I'll be back once it's gone. If we reload the page, the app is gone. We're going to add it again. This process is actually very easy, and it doesn't take much time at all. So I'm going to add it where I downloaded it from the App Exchange. Install immediately. That goes down very quickly. Well, it took a little longer than I was expecting, but it's installed now. If we reload the page, we see the BigFix app. Now we need to configure it, and that's what I wanted to actually also uninstall and install again, because there's a little trick in here. You probably have done this before. To install the app, all you need to do is actually put the host or IP address of the BigFix machine, which in our case it is this one. Now the developers put this nice test connection button in here that's very useful. I'm going to put in the password for my admin. It doesn't have to be admin on BigFix, of course. And you get a successful configuration. You save it. Now the tricky part. You go to inventory, and in here you need to put HTTPS. Notice that the S is not there by default, and that tricked me before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also put here the 172.16.60.180, and I'm going to put the other password for BigFix inventory. It's not the same. It doesn't have to be the same. And the useful test connection button is also here. And it's successful. Therefore, we can save it. Now we're done. Let's actually go to the BigFix app. So now I can go to the, for example, the Win7 machine. And if I scroll down and go to Files, again, we have the patch, the software. There's no software installed in that box, but the files, and we get our hashes. If we go to the other machine, the other Windows machine, I'm actually clicking here on Overview. Go here, go to Files. We should have file hashes as well. And there we have them. Another thing that I have failed to mention in previous videos is that let's say that you have a hash that you found that is malicious. You can actually take the hash and copy it here, and you say, well, where else do you see that hash? And remember, many things that you can search in here for when you find something bad. Let's say, well, is this file being seen anywhere else in any of the other machines? And you get the answer from BigFix. Not a surprise, is in both of those machines. And why is that? Is because if the C, Windows, Microsoft, Net, framework, blah blah, version, whatever, ADL process.exe, which is in both of those machines. So this is to give you an idea of how useful it is once you find something, a piece of software, and which machine have the antivirus off, a particular process is running somewhere else, a particular CVE patch, etc. You can. This is part of the usefulness of the BigFix app, that you can actually search from this field.